Hi guys, Bob for Bob's Movie Review here, and today I realized I had never reviewed Fate of the Furious. I know at least one or more people asked for a review. I watched this and I just completely forgot to record a review of it. So this is the 8th chapter. I was going to say sequel, but really be the 7th sequel. I'm kind of disappointed in the title alone, Fate of the Furious. If they just called it F8, it would have been so much more clever, and it would have, oh my gosh, it would have been the greatest title in the Fast and the Furious franchise. Very few movies even are called Fast and the Furious in the franchise. Fate of the Furious, F8. Alright, so I went into this movie really expecting very little. I've been very disappointed in most of the movies in the franchise. Nonsensical plots, terrible acting, terrible dialogue, over-the-top action that borders on the retarded, and I expected nothing less. This is the first installment without Paul Walker. They brought Charlize Theron in on this one. I didn't know what to expect from her. So this movie opens with Dom and Letty on their honeymoon in Cuba. It's like, why did they go to Cuba? Alright, so you get there, and of course they have all super old cars because of trade embargoes on Cuba. They can't really get anything, they can't get newer cars or anything, so all the cars were like from the 50s or something. And this guy, I don't know, Dom called him his cousin. I don't know if it was really his cousin, because you never hear of a cousin at any point. And his car's getting towed for some reason. I was really lost in this part, and basically it was like a scam. Like, this guy would loan you money and then he would take your car and ship it to the US because it's pretty, you could get money for it, I guess. Again, I'm not entirely sure what that whole thing was. And so Dom's like, oh, I'll race you for it. Whatever. He's like, all right, whatever. So this guy, of course, he has the best car in Cuba, the fastest car, and Dom has his cousin's piece of junk car. So they bring out some nitrous oxide you take at the dentist or whatever. They hook that up to it somehow. He takes a little soda pop lid and puts it on there. He's like, oh, this is a poor man's turbo. What are you talking about? Oh my god, what is he doing? So they start racing, and it's pretty even the whole time, even though I guess it was that poor man's turbo that allowed him to compete. Then of course the other guy sends somebody to take him out, and he ends up having to finish the race in reverse, going 500 miles an hour with the car on fire, and wins the race. He doesn't even take the guy's car. He's like, I got something better. I got his respect. It's like, oh my god. How does Vin Diesel keep getting movies? He's so terrible. So, while in Cuba, Charlize Theron contacts him and gives him a reason to turn on his team. Now, when I heard this in the trailer, I was like, yeah, right, he's not really going to turn on his team. It's just some stupid thing's going to happen, and they're going to think he's a bad guy, and that is basically what happened. Although, I'm not going to give it away, I did think it was a good twist. There was a good reasonable reason for him to turn on his team. Reasonable reason. So I did think that was a pretty good thing there. For the most part, I actually did enjoy this movie, though. That whole pointless. That whole thing was pointless. It was not needed in the movie, and it gave it that ridiculously over the top action that is just stupid. It's pointless. So you take that out, that whole Cuba part, and I think the movie actually becomes a lot better. So Dom is working with Charlize Theron, the leader of this, I guess they're terrorist kind of organization, and they're trying to get this WMD and these nuclear warheads, and you don't find out, I don't think, exactly what the plan is. She's trying to stop war, but by killing everybody, maybe? I don't know. I don't think they ever say exactly what her whole plan is. So now, Kurt Russell, I can't remember what he's leader of or whatever. He's recruiting everybody else to stop Dom, and of course they're all pretty terrible at stopping him because he's so magnificent. he cannot be stopped. I think everybody but Vin Diesel was pretty good in this, though. He's just like he has like one track mind, I guess. Just like he's like gonna be a super badass, slow speech, epic speech teller with every line. It's like just. And then there's this scene where they're crossing this frozen bay or ocean or whatever. It gets a little crazy, but it still stays fun. One negative thing, though, too, on this, it feels like a lot of the supporting characters, Tyrese, Gibson, Ludacris, they're just kind of there. You know, they're not really doing much. They're not really saying much. They're just kind of, you know, they're saying a couple lines here, and Tyrese Gibson's hungry, you know, like he is all the time. He's so hungry. Eat something, man. Whatever. So, all that aside, though, guys, I did enjoy this one. I thought it was actually one of the better installments in the franchise. I think like the last three I've been really disappointed in, but I kind of like this one. I thought it was a decent story. I wish they would just end them already, or like somehow figure out how to go back to the actual street racing routes. It'd be fun, but I did like this one. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I definitely think it's a little bit above average movie with a fun story and, you know, some fun action and lots of cars, of course. If you guys did enjoy this review, be sure to leave it a like rating. I always appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribed for more videos. I'll see you guys next time.